I'm about to step on a few toes, and that's intentional. This, as too many schools still deny the fact that bullying is a problem. In this episode of The Flip Side with me, Keenan Williams, we're confronting that reality head on. Now, does this denial quietly fuel the very crisis harming our young people, driving anxiety, isolation, and depression? Or are we as an organization Norse and simply overreaching and frustrated by the targets we're struggling to meet? I personally don't believe it's that simple. There's something deeper happening beneath the surface, something uncomfortable, something systemic. And in this issue of The Flip Side, we're not beating around the bush. We're diving straight in. So welcome to another episode of The Flip Side.
Welcome to the flip side, where you believe in you, where the dreams inside your heart become something that's true. Surround yourself with believers, let them hold you high, until the day you realize that you can touch.
Bullying is not a problem, they say. It's a sentence which is heard in staff rooms. It's a sentence which is heard in the governing body or board meetings and official school statements far too often. It sounds reassuring. It sounds controlled. It sounds responsible. But for many learners, it rings hollow. Because while adults debate definitions and protect reputations, children are navigating daily humiliation, exclusion, and fear. Bullying doesn't always look like a fight on the playground. It's quieter, more insidious. It's the WhatsApp group you're not invited to, the joke that always lands at your expense, the teacher who doesn't notice or chooses not to. When schools deny the existence of bullying, they don't eliminate the problem, they silence it. And silence is where bullying thrives. Acknowledging bullying isn't a weakness in leadership is the beginning of real leadership. It says, we see you, we hear you, and we will act. Because the real danger isn't that bullying exists, it's that it gets ignored. And we need to understand that schools are built on reputations and years of tradition, years of academic results, of discipline, of that tradition. And these pillars of many institutions, they proudly stand on them. But when it comes to bullying, that reputation can become a dangerous shield. Too often schools fear that admitting to bullying will tarnish their image. So instead they downplay those incidents, reframing them as conflict or dismiss them as an isolated case. But the learners, the very learners at those schools, know the truth. They know which corridors to avoid. They know which classmates hold power through fear. They know when reporting something will lead nowhere. The gap between a school's public image and a learner's lived experience is where truth breaks down and trust is no more. And once that trust is gone, even the best anti-bullying policies mean very, very little if it doesn't have the backing from the school management, the school staff, as well as the governing body. The strongest schools are not the ones who claim perfection. They are the ones willing to confront uncomfortable truths and to do something about them. Now, there's a phrase that often has protected bullying for generations. It's this, and I quote, "It's just kids being kids. It's just kids being kids." It's said casually, dismissively, and sometimes even with a laugh. But for the child on the receiving end, it's not harmless. It's not character building. It's not a rite of passage. It's isolation. It's anxiety. It's the slow erosion of self-worth. When schools adopt this mindset, they unintentionally become complicit. They normalize cruelty and minimize pain. And in doing so, they teach a dangerous lesson that power matters more than kindness. That power matters more than kindness. Children don't grow out of bullying environments unchanged. They carry those experiences into adulthood, into their relationships, into their confidence and their sense of identity. Bullying isn't a phase, it's a warning sign. And schools that ignore it aren't protecting children, they are failing them. We need to understand that when we ask most teachers privately, and many will admit it, that bullying exists in schools, in the very schools that deny that they are there. So why does the official narrative often say otherwise? Because addressing bullying is complex. It requires time, training, emotional energy, and sometimes uncomfortable conversations with parents, as well as the leadership structure of a particular school. It exposes gaps. It demands accountability. It's easier to say, we don't have a problem, we don't have issues, we don't have bullying occurring at our school, but learners notice the disconnect. They see when incidents are just brushed aside. They hear when adults contradict each other. They feel when the experiences are minimized, and eventually they stop speaking up. Breaking the cycle starts with honesty, not perfection. A school culture that allows teachers to speak openly about challenges is far more powerful than one that demands a flawless image, because real change doesn't start with policies, it starts with truth. And not every school, we need to understand too, is in denial. We've worked with several of them, and we continue to work with several schools who are not in denial of the fact that bullying is a problem. And the ones that choose to listen, they stand out immediately. And these are schools found in the remotest parts of the country. It's found on the Cape Flats. It's found in the affluent, leafy suburbs. It's found in our township communities and areas. In these environments, learners feel safe to report incidents. Teachers are equipped to respond. Leadership is proactive rather than reactive. Most importantly, there's a shared understanding that bullying is not just a disciplinary issue, it's a community issue. These schools don't pretend to be perfect. Instead, they commit to being responsive and responsible. They gather feedback, they create open channels of communication, they treat every report seriously. And we find that that result is a culture where respect is not just taught, but lived out. The question is no longer whether bullying exists, it's whether we are willing to face it, because the moment schools stop denying the problem is the moment it can finally begin to solve it. So in this episode of The Flip Side, I've stepped on a few toes, and I hope that to those schools who have responded with such courage can truly live it out and say, we don't have a bullying problem, and that is the truth. But if you are denying the reality of it, let it not be like the school which we contacted a few weeks ago, which said that exact same thing. And just a few days ago, there was a viral video which ended up on the socials, which showed the very school that claimed that they don't have a bullying problem, where a video showcases the exact opposite. From myself, Keenan Williams, keep rocking, SA.